Hello and welcome to another episode of the Eventual Knits podcast. My name is Leah. You can refer to me using she, her pronouns. I go by Miss_LJV on Instagram and Eventual on Ravelry. It is a new year. It's 2024. I'm so happy. I know that it's a new year, but I thought it would be really cool to see what I finished in 2023. It was such a weird year because I was pregnant and I also gave birth and had to have a newborn, and it was fun for me to look in Ravelry and like, what did I finish? What was I working on? It's so interesting to see. But before that, I do want to go through what I finished and what I've been working on, which is only like one thing finished, one thing working on. Yeah, I think that's it. I wrote things down on a piece of paper this time. And what I'm wearing. So what I am currently wearing is the Columbary Sweater by Telly B Knits, or Stephanie Lotvin. The main color is like a blue-green sort of heathered Barocco. You know, I love knitting my sweaters in Barocco. It's a nice affordable yarn. And the yoke the color work is in Barocco Millefiori Light. So it's sort of an uneven single ply yarn, but it was really fun to knit with. I love this sweater. I love the way that it came out, but I was trying to figure out why I don't reach for it. And I think part of it is that it's too big. I think it looks fine, but that's one reason why I think I don't reach for it, because it's just kind of bunchy. And the other reason is because even though I think this color work is really, really gorgeous, and I feel like my lighting is not doing it any justice. I don't have any of my box lights up, but it's very like bright and shimmery. I don't know. The yarn has like a, why can't I think, like a metallic quality to it. So it is really pretty, but it's like not my colors. Like this is not my colors. Like what is this, jewel tones or something? It's just not, I just feel like it's not like the colors for me generally. But otherwise I like the sweater. I think it's a good sweater. I would happily knit this again, just in a smaller size for sure. So I really, really like it. I love how the sleeves fit. I think they are absolutely perfect, and the body also is very nice. Very nice length and fit. So yeah, that's the Columbary Sweater by Stephanie Lotvin. But let's get into what I have finished. I will say I'll try to edit out any coughing or things that I do. I have had a cough for more than 2 months, and basically I went to the doctor yesterday. My whole throat is just torn up. Like, I'm not sick, and my cough has nothing to do with my chest or my head. It is literally because my throat is so raw that it like triggers me to cough to try to like itch it, but it just makes it worse. And it's just this vicious cycle. And basically they said, oh, I'm so sorry, there's nothing we could do for you. Hopefully it heals on its own. So I will try to mitigate that, because once I start coughing, I can't stop coughing. So, all right. What did I finish? Honestly, I guess this is like the first thing I finished or it's the last thing I finished, but it's the first thing I want to talk about that I finished in 2023. And folks, it's my temperature blanket. I finished it. I finished it on December 31st. I finished Quinn's temperature blanket. I'm gonna insert footage to show like the whole thing. I should have measured it before this podcast, but I did not. Okay, so if I'm holding it from one long end, short end is basically my wingspan, which I'm guessing is about 5 feet. And then long way is a little bit longer than that, so I bet like 5.5 to 6 feet maybe. So it is rectangular, and I didn't sew it on yet. So I made the very, very last square. Back up. I did this this blanket, 18 across, and I don't know, I don't know what my calculations were that I thought this would work out perfectly, but I did this 18 across, and then so I thought it would work out perfectly, so that 18 across plus one additional square for the beginning of the month. So, you know, like for this, let's say this is February, it'd be January 31st, February 1st. Okay, so like the white squares, the white centers delineate the separation between months, but not like the first of that month. So it's just February 1st, and then, you know, March 1st. And so I got to the end, and I knew this was going to happen because I had kept like a note in my phone that I broke it up by 18, so I knew how much, like how many circles to do for that month, and then to attach them I had to start at the end and go backwards, because you'd start on the right and go left, and you know, you'd naturally look left to right when you're actually looking at it. So there was one additional square that was left, so at the very end I made this one solid black because I have a little tag to sew on that says temperature blanket 2023, and I got it from my local yarn store, Knitting from the Heart, and that's really cute. So yeah, I don't know if I planned that or not originally and just forgot, but it worked out perfectly, minus just needing one final square, which will be perfect. And then of course this is a temperature blanket that I made. No official pattern. I picked a pattern on Ravelry just so people could find my temperature blanket if they weren't just looking for the tag. But I didn't actually follow that person's pattern. It just is the one that looks the most similar. But it's just a circle, like just one row of granny square with, you know, magic circle, and then 4 sets of 3 double crochets, and then I attached these using kind of a join as you go, which was so much more preferable because then I didn't have tons of ends of the background color. And then I had one different unique square, which is Quinn's birthday, because this is a temperature blanket for my son who was born this year, and so I just made it white and then the average for that day. My temperature blanket is done by averages so that I would have less colors. In the past, when I made a temperature scarf, I was really intense on wanting to do the highs and the lows and get them like so perfect, right? I wanted them to be perfect. And while I love the look of temperature blankets, especially crochet ones that are some kind of a granny square style with the high and the low, it's just so colorful, I knew that I probably wouldn't stick with it because I cannot stand, like, I'm not the kind of person that if I ever do a granny square blanket that I can do like 180 individual squares and then join them at the end. I will never join them. I will never weave in those ends. It will just never work. I like have to have some way to be joining as you go. So I thought the best way was to do the average, because I live in Minnesota and the extremes of temperature exist here. You know, like they can change 40 degrees in one day, and so I didn't want to pick just the highs or just the lows, especially because like in the winter, it's like, man, it can start at like, you know, -25 Fahrenheit in the, you know, nighttime, and then by the morning be in the single digits, which is still like a, you know, 25+ degree difference. And so I don't want to do the high because that doesn't like indicate how low it can get. But then on the other hand, you don't want it to be the lows because in the reverse, it can get super hot during the days in the summer. And I really, when I was looking at this, I cannot believe how many days averaged in the 80s. Because like that means that most of the day had to be in the 90s. You know, we had a lot of them. And then, of course, we've had such a warm winter so far. So this was winter, you know, at the beginning of the year last year. So we had some pretty cold days. The blues indicate the coldest days. And then at the end of the year here, it looks like spring still. I mean, this is the average of the 40s. I know this is 40s, no, 50s. 40s, 30s, yeah, 20s. But yeah, I'll insert footage. I'm sure I'll have been panning over some footage, hopefully, at this point, and include pictures and whatnot. So I'm so proud of this. It's a very, very nice size. I hope he uses it a lot as he grows up, or at least has it as a keepsake. I did throw it in the washer after I was finished. Barocco vintage can be washed, and so I did wash it. I did not throw it in the dryer, although I honestly, I don't know, I think I could have. I think it's like, I want to say it's like 55-45 acrylic and wool, but I don't know which one is more. It might be 55% wool, 40% acrylic, so you probably shouldn't throw it in the dryer, but I kind of want to. I'm very good at weaving in my ends. Like, I don't think it would come apart. So like, I'm very diligent in making sure that they're like weaved in so well so they won't come undone. But I do know that that's a risk, other than, and also felting, of course, or shrinking. But so I did just set it on the ground with a fan on it to help dry it faster. I didn't like do any intense blocking. I didn't pin it down or anything like that. I just shaped it and put a fan on it, and I am so excited about it. Oh, I did put a border on it. I did a round of single crochet and then a round of single crochet through the back loop only. So I think it came out nice and simple, evened out, you know, how some of the squares might have been joined a little bit weird at the end or whatever, especially because I was doing a lot of slip stitches down the sides. So I think it came out great. I'm so happy. I'm so proud, and I did it on time. I mean, there were definitely times where it's like I dedicated a couple nights to catching up, you know, a month or two or something like that, but I made the project sustainable and easy to catch up on if you got behind. So proud. 2023, we did it. Temperature blanket. I highly encourage this pattern if you want a temperature blanket and can do simple crochet, and can figure out join as you go, which is truly not that hard. You just have to be able to be a little creative if you're not doing it correctly, because I didn't do it correctly because I started it after I had already been putting the blanket together. So yeah, so happy. Congratulations to us. That's the only thing that I finished, but I am close. I'm almost finished ish. Yeah, almost finished with my September sweater by Petite Knit. This is a sweater in Knit Picks Provincial Tweed in the color Candy Apple. So it's showing up more rusty. It's pretty rusty, I guess, but it's not this rusty. There you go, a little bit better, maybe. But it is like a tweed with like multiple colors, not just like black tweed. It's like got yellows and browns and blues. And I have I keep hitting my head on the thing behind me. Since last time I have finished the body, so it's brioche down to the hem, and then it is a ribbed hem, and then I finished one sleeve. Hopefully it's long enough. I guess I didn't even think about trying it on. Maybe I should try it on. We'll see. And I am on the second sleeve. So actually what happened is, I'm just gonna try it on. The way that this sweater is constructed is you start them separately. You're knitting back and forth. So you do the back and then the front and then start the shoulders and then join. And something happened where I think I was worried that one of them wouldn't be long enough. Okay, no, this is okay. Oh, okay, the sleeve is too short. I'm gonna have to, I cannot, I mean, I know that when I block it, it'll probably lengthen out, but I'm gonna need to make this longer. I do not do bracelet length. It has to be here. Yeah, that's gonna be too short. But I was worried that one of the fronts to the back wasn't going to be long enough, and so I added more, and then I think I ended on the wrong row. I tried not to, but I think I did. And so when I started doing the body, I didn't realize that my brioche, so back up, with brioche, if you're knitting back and forth, you can just knit, and then it looks like this. But brioche is different in the round. It's the opposite of regular knitting. So you have to alternate every round. So let's say you're doing a round of brioche knits and alternating purls for ribbing. Or it's not purls, it's a yarn over. But anyway, a round of brioche knit, and then you have to do a round of brioche purl. And because I had messed up my join, or because I think I ended on the wrong row on either the front or the back, I don't know which, I was off. And so like halfway through the sweater, it would switch to the other one, brioche knit or brioche purl. It's like, but I didn't know that. And so I wasn't paying attention. And so there was a couple rows in the, well, I guess, where would it be? It'd be, you know, underneath the arm. So underneath the bust, I had knit several inches before I realized that I had like a big line because I messed it up, and then eventually it got back on track because I'd established a new brioche pattern, but it was like just that one specific line, and I did not like that. So I made the decision and I ripped back. It was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches all the way back to the armpit, and then I had to go back even a little bit. Well, and so I didn't rip back. One does not simply just rip back brioche. So I had to tink back all of those rows. And then, here's the thing though. I was like upset about it just in the sense of like my time. But I actually learned a lot about brioche in doing that. So I feel a little bit more confident in being able to, so for example, let's say I wasn't paying attention and I accidentally did a brioche knit in a brioche purl row. I feel pretty confident now in being able to manipulate the stitch in order to do the inverse, if that makes sense, in order to fix it. So if you're fixing like a drop stitch or dropping down a stitch when you're doing regular knitting, you know, you're just like, oh, I'm just doing the knit back up the row. With brioche, it's a little bit more complex because the stitches themselves are not just one single strand. They're kind of multiple strands that are weaving around each other in sort of like a little butterfly X sort of shape. And I feel like doing that process taught me a lot about brioche. And so I'm happy, honestly, about what I learned. Sorry that my voice is sounding weird. It's my throat. So like, it's not a huge loss. I do think my sweater's a little off maybe, but let's see if you can. Yeah, no, it's looking good. Look at that. Yeah, so I've got just like this sleeve. So once I'm finished with this sleeve and then lengthened this sleeve, so I guess what I'll do here, honestly, I might make it just like a really long cuff and fold it so I don't have to rip back to the brioche and do more brioche. Like, not that I hate brioche, but again, when you rip back, it's like when you can't just rip back to brioche. You gotta be careful. You don't want to lose those yarn overs and stuff. So I might just actually knit this extra long and then fold it. I like that. I'll probably do that because brioche is so squishy. So I have to do this. How's the length now that I'm thinking about it? Okay, yeah, no, length is good. Yeah, length is good. And then when I block it, it'll be even better. And I knit a size smaller than I typically would. So it looks kind of fitted right now, but brioche, after you block it and wear it, it tends to relax widthwise. So I wanted to make sure that it wasn't too wide. As I talked about with Collinberry, I am always at risk of making my garments too wide because my bust is so much bigger normally than the rest of my body. After that, this is not the neckline that it will be. I have to pick up and do a neckline. So this is not the final neckline, but I love that it's not too big up right now like that, and that so that it will cinch in after I do pick up for it. This is my first full brioche knitted garment. I'm super excited about that. I've only ever done like cowls. As I've mentioned in previous episodes, brioche is totally doable if you can knit. But I also am a firm believer, like, if you can, you know, knit a scarf, you can do a shawl. If you can do a shawl, you can do a sweater. If you can do sweaters, you can do socks. Like, it's just, you gotta take the leap. But brioche is so fun. It's just like such like, just like fun details. Like, now that I'm like looking at it, I probably don't have this lined up correctly because this is the shoulder seam, which is pretty far back. But the thing is like that kind of stuff does not bother me. I'm not very good at things that have to be seamed, like lining them up on my body, because I don't care that much. Like, I think it looks good anyway. Like, maybe it doesn't, but that is a problem for future Leah. I really thought that the armhole was going to be way too big because it does start out really big, but it cinches up really nicely. Like, I thought for sure it was going to be like one of those like dude bro tank top length armholes. So I'm glad that it did not come out that way. So yeah, that is everything that I have been working on. Actually, like, I was really intent on finishing my temperature blanket, and then I really want to finish this so I can move on to another sweater because there's so many things that I want to knit this year. But the next project that I have to start, that I'm excited to start, will be a shawl for my wedding in May. But I'll talk about that more once I actually start it. But yeah, so I'm gonna take this off. Let's go through and talk about everything that I finished in 2023. Okay, in 2023, I finished 24 projects, which is so wild to me that I finished a pretty average number of projects. I hear my cat's walking by, okay. There's also his belly and his purring, if you heard that. God. Like, I would have really thought that I had knit less, and it wasn't just that I finished a bunch of projects in the beginning of the year either. I did. Before I gave birth, I did actually finish up a bunch of projects that had been languishing. So I guess I do want to clarify that I'm not talking about projects that I started and completed within 2023. It's literally anything that I completed in 2023, no matter how far I had been on it in the past. And actually, the first thing that I finished, I don't even have with me. I have to go grab it. Okay, the first thing that I finished in 2023 was a blanket for my son. So I called this Quinn's Galaxy blanket because the theme of his nursery was, or is, like spacey constellations. Like, his room itself is like a very dark teal, and then we have constellations and stars all around, like stickers, and yeah, a lot of other things. It's just like spacey themed. So I knit this for him. This was This was called the Space Rainbows by Emily Stemmitz. It's a worsted weight project. I just used like yarn from Joann's or Michael's or whatever. I would say that this project was super freaking annoying at the beginning. You start with the whole circle, and it's really funny because I did a magic ring because I didn't want to do a knit whatever, and whatever, kind of looks like a belly button. And this ended up looking more of like not a circle, more of a hexagon. And it was literally impossible. No matter how much like I could not keep track of like the number of repeats, it never worked out. But the more I did the blanket, the better I got. So it's like whatever. And I don't even know what I did here to make this start on the wrong side. It's not that I picked it up on the wrong side. I think I just switched colors on the wrong row or something. And it's like I did not care. I was not going to go back. So I had more fun with it the more I knit on it, but man, at the beginning I really freaking hated it. I did not think I was gonna finish it, but I'm glad I did. So it's just a big circle. I'll put footage of it in for you. I guess I'll talk about like would I knit it again or what I would do differently. So would I knit it again? Absolutely not. When I did add a border, which is nice. I like the border. What would I do differently? I don't know. Be better at knitting? I'm not sure. But I'm glad I did it and I'm glad it's done. But it was not my favorite. The next thing that I finished, I don't have with me, but I can put pictures of, were tarot pouches for my mom. My mom asked for pouches for her tarot cards. They have two different sizes, and I just used scrap yarn, pretty yarn, but I just chose a couple colors from scrap yarn that I had, and I did use a pattern kind of by Christy Statuto, but on one of them I added a little crescent moon. I just had like Steve make me up a little chart, and I did that, so that was really fun. And there were drawstrings, so I did I-cord drawstrings, and I also bought little teeny tassels from like the local bead store or whatever, and put those on, and that was really cute. So yeah, I think they were adorable. Would I knit them again? Yeah. I would. They're not that long. They're not like that difficult of projects or anything like that, and they don't take all that long. I guess I would like to be more planful about like the top, how that ends up coming out. The pattern has you do like a lace row at the end or whatever, and you can't even see it. I don't understand. So I'd want to figure that out a little bit more, but they're not like intense projects. So that was cute. That was fun. The next thing I knit were two hats for Quinn. I can only find one of them, but they were the Welcome to the World beanies. Again, this was leftover yarn, and I did a little pom-pom on this one. The other one I did not do a pom-pom on, and I did one in DK, which was this one, and one in worsted. This hat is was too short for Quinn even when he was really little. I'm just gonna see him. Ha ha ha. My tiny head. Too short, like it wouldn't cover his ears, but we did get to wear it in the fall, and it was still cute even if it was not quite as long as I wanted, and the other one was just always too small for him by the time he was able to wear it when it wasn't hot out. So I would like to make more of these for him. I still haven't yet, and I really need to, because the poor baby needs a hat. He needs a hat. I could buy a hat too, but I want to knit him hats too. So would I knit again? Absolutely. So easy, so quick. I mean, baby things are like a blessing and a curse, where like the blessing is that like they're finished really quickly, but the curse is that usually you have to do a lot of things on double points, and it's just like, I'm not bad at double points or to like them. It's just so much more fiddly than doing it in the round, and I don't know how to do magic loop, or it just seems like something I would not like. Like I feel like I've tried it before and I don't like it, and I don't know. So maybe I should figure that out for baby stuff. But That's gonna be my complaint, my running theme of complaint about baby stuff is double points. But otherwise, super fast, super easy. Pom-poms are fun. All leftover scrap yarn. Yeah. Oh, the Welcome to a Newborn Hat is by Nona. Nona. The next thing I completed in 2023 was completely redoing, not completely, redoing like half of my Lunar Rising sweater by Tina Say. So I did a whole like episode talking about it, but the original version of this had like basically like a wide ribbing, like sort of like in this pattern all the way down, and it ends up way too bulky and just like it does not feel good. This was also one of the first sweaters I ever finished. And there was just a lot of things that were wrong with it. So like the neckline was way too big, the sleeve cuffs were way too tight, and then it was way too bulky in the body. And not only that, moths got to it, and so there's a bunch of holes in it too. So I did have enough yarn in a couple of these couple colors to rip back. So I ripped it back honestly to like, I think like maybe here where the color change was, and then reknit. And I did fix some holes too. There were some holes that were higher up. I did fix those as well, but some of it I just reknit the whole part. And then I just did the body and stuck in it, and I also decreased like 80 stitches or something like that, which is a lot. It's still a really big oversized sweater, but it fits much better and is way more comfy because it's not like 20 inches of extra bulk, and that's not even like an exaggeration. And then for the arms, I just redid the cuffs. I should have made them longer, but I don't think I had enough yarn. I think that was part of it. And by longer, I just mean the ribbing in general. Like, this is a pretty short cuff, but they're like little soft balloon sleeves. But yeah, I'm super happy. Oh, and did I say that? I did a single crochet around the neckline. I just feel like I need to do it again. It's such a wide neckline. But I like it so much more now, and I do wear it a decent amount. Would I knit this again? No. Simply because it would have the same issues. I'd have to do the same modifications. Like, I might as well just knit a different sweater. But I'm glad I knit it, and I do wear this. And I love these colors. I really am a fan of a fade, and so really what I learned from that is it's a fade and balloon sleeves. So I love that this is a DK because it knits up pretty fast. It's nice and cozy. So it just tells me I need to be doing more fades, and I already know I always look for sweaters with balloon sleeves. So, and as always, I need to keep working on my necklines. My necklines are always so big, and I know that a lot of people's patterns already make necklines big. They just don't seem like they do, and then you look at the completed projects and they are. And so just trying to accommodate for that as much as I can, because I really like a nice crew. Yeah, it's Lunar Rising. The next one is my Asali Socks by Dawn Henderson. So this is a cable sock with some back ribbing, a heel flap and gusset, and I did this in a really pretty Knit Circus gradient. These socks are too big. I do wear them, but they're too big. I feel like the issue is that it's like, I worry that they're gonna be too tight because cables make things tighter, but then this ribbing makes it more loose. It like counterbalances it. So they ended up being a little too big. I was surprised that with the ribbing, with the cabling, that it still ended up too big on the foot, but they're still cozy. I still like them. I just always need to try to, my feet are so small, so I just need to keep going. So if I knit this again, I would knit it smaller, with less stitches. Would I knit it again? Yes. This is a very easy pattern to do without a cable needle, and once you get in the rhythm of it, if you're paying attention, honestly, it's just making sure that you're giving enough rows in between the cable sections. So I think I did knit these with Knit Companion open to just be like moving or keeping track of, like, you know, moving the like highlighter bar between rows, just so I could keep track of the rows. I didn't really find a good way to keep track, but you don't need a cable needle, and it's just, I think, a 4-row repeat, and so like beautiful texture, so fun, great for gradients. And again, unfortunately, my feet are so small that you don't get to see as much of the really, really rich, deep pink, but I do like these socks, but they're a little big, which again, I don't think it's a fault of the pattern. I think that's my fault. Oh, the next thing I finished is the Argil top by Claire Lakewood. I started this actually in 2022 at our like family's yearly getaway cabin vacation that we do for like 4 days. Oh, I was holding it upside down. I was like holding it like it was a halter. It is not. It's like a, is this the back? No, this is the back. It's a, yeah, like a scoop neck. It's knit in really, really light yarn. So you basically, you start the back, you go, and then you go up, you split, go around, and then back down. Is that the whole way that you do it? I think, yes, it is. And then you join it at the bottom, and then you pick up and you knit this way, and then and as you do that, you attach this, after you finish, oh, and then you decrease for the straps. This is really wrinkly because it's been sitting in my drawer. I haven't worn it at all because I finished it when I was pregnant, very pregnant. Like I probably finished this in like February or March or something. I was due in April, at the beginning of April, and I was very big. But I did finish it. I got it twisted when I was doing the straps, and so it ended up being basically like a Mobius, and so I had to like cut it and then rejoin the strap, and I mean, you can't really tell at all where I joined the strap, so it's fine. I also made this longer, and it meant that I needed to make this longer. It was a whole thing, but so there was just a lot of things that kind of went wrong, but were, again, just mostly my fault, especially because I set it down for a really long time before picking it back up again, and so I'd just forgotten. But I do like it. I'm really excited. I'm actually excited to try this on. So my vision for this video is that I'm taking video footage to like overlay while I'm talking. So I'm excited to try this on, especially with like, yeah, anyway, I'm excited to try this on to see what it looks like, to see if it even fits or will fit me. But I like the outcome just because it was like a fun, interesting project. But I would not knit this again. I don't think so. It was so fiddly. Like, just so many like pieces that you need to keep track of. Well, that's fine. I don't usually like to do it more than once. I mean, maybe if I end up really liking the way that it looks, like if I end up wearing it this summer or something like that, then maybe, but probably not. I also like didn't follow, I got so tired of picking up stitches. God, that's annoying, picking up stitches all the time. So I have an episode where I talk about how I ended up finalizing some of these pieces. I did other things instead of always picking up stitches, but I don't remember what I did at this point. But this is Argil by Claire Lakewood. I already said that. Yeah, summer top. The next one that I finished was the Spector Sweater by Joji Locatelli. This is a fingering weight sweater. I split and just started the body and then set it down sometime after I found out I was pregnant. And then I picked it back up again in the beginning of the year, and like I finished it really fast. It's knit inside out, so you're doing, because it's reverse stockinette. Well, it's like a ribbing kind of, but it's like reverse stockinette mostly. And so you knit you do all of this, you knit the whole yoke with this little texture pattern, and then split, and then you knit the rest inside out. And it is a fade. Which is really nice. And, you know, I didn't find that this was very time consuming, or didn't feel very time consuming in comparison. Like, I remember how he's saying something about how, like, yeah, like, she likes doing a lot of fingering weight stuff. And she was saying, like, you're only doing like 30% more, which can be a lot, especially if you're a slow knitter, but it doesn't feel like that long. So I didn't have an issue knitting this. Like, would I knit this again? Yes, I love the fit of this sweater. I love the drape of this sweater. I love the fade. Am I going to knit this again? Probably not. There's just so many good patterns in this world, but I would. I really enjoyed it. And it's so stretchy that I was able to, like, my pictures on Ravelry are of me wearing it while I was like 9 months pregnant. But I can still wear it now, and it's very, very cozy. It's one of my favorite sweaters, and definitely one of the ones that I reach for the most. So yeah, that's the Spector by Joji Locatelli. Another one I'm gonna have to put pictures in or find Steve for are I did the Zigzagular socks for him in Rainbow Road by Knit Circus. And I've done Zigzagular a few times. I really like that pattern. It's a top-down sock, and you do like a zigzag cable, just a single cable, all the way down the sock. And I had started them, like, honestly, like years before. I'd gotten one of them finished, and then I thought that I wouldn't have enough yarn, that it was gonna be too short. So I like set it down for a really long time, and then eventually Steve tried on the sock, and he was like, oh, this is fine. And so I just went ahead and made his second one. Steve just has really big feet, so it's like you gotta motivate to be able to make those socks for him. And they came out really cute. I really like that pattern. It does make with that cable, it does make the socks a little bit more snug because of the way that it pulls on the fabric, but I think it looks amazing in that rainbow yarn. Would I knit it again? Yes. I mean, I've knit it like 3 or 4 times. It's really fun, and it's like a really nice way to add detail to otherwise pretty simple socks. So honestly, I'll probably make some more this year if I decide I want to do some socks. So, and that pattern is by Susie White. The next one I finished were the In a Jiffy socks by Shannon Squire. This is another Knit Circus thing. These were my Christmas socks. I feel like they're too big and they're too short. One of them, I think. Like, I feel like I did badly at the toe. I think I got rid of the remaining yarn. It also looks like moths might have gotten into them a little bit. I don't see any holes, but I see evidence of moths. Actually, I have not seen moths a lot this winter. Like, I can't even think of the last time I saw a moth in this house, which is great. Oh yeah, and then the top is tight. Like, what is happening here? Like, why? Okay, maybe they're not too big. Maybe I just, oh, but yeah, this one's like a little short. Like my toe is pressing up against it, but I guess I haven't actually blocked them yet. I don't tend to block socks before I wear them. Oh, maybe the moth did get a little bit. I just don't find it necessary typically, but maybe that'll help. They're cute, but I don't know. I just ended up not liking this pattern, like the way that it looks as much. So In a Jiffy comes in a like four pack. I don't know. It's like it's an ebook, I think, or like a mini ebook set of 4 patterns that are, it's called like Socks for Busy Bees, aka like socks that you can knit up pretty quickly. And there's another one of their patterns that I have knit a few times that I really enjoyed the way that it looks, but it was a little bit more involved. Like, it's kind of random. It's like a weird pattern. And I used it with a highly variegated speckly gradient from Knit Circus, and so it actually works really well in the pattern. It's just like a very busy sock. And they're one of my favorite pairs. I love the way they fit. I love the way they look. But it was a little bit more involved, so I thought, oh, I'll pick a different pattern from the same set and knit that. And it's just like a simple sort of, it's like a ribbing and a broken rib. So it's like a ribbing down the center, and I don't know why I took it off the sock. Oh yeah, I was trying it on. It's a ribbing down the center and a broken rib on the sides. And I think I just don't like the way that it looks very much. And then there's an Eye of Partridge heel and like a reverse stockinette gusset. But I don't mind the like anklet look, but I do tend to prefer my socks a little bit longer. I told you before, in a different episode that for Knit Circus they do sock sets, and the small sock set is just a little bit too short, but the medium sock set is way too long for me. Like, there's no happy medium. So this was a short sock set, so I had to make them shorter. So would I knit this pattern again? Probably not. Like, yeah, it was easier to keep track of than one of the other patterns, but I didn't like it nearly as much. So, but I do recommend the Socks for Busy Bees set. Like, they are fun. The next thing I did was a crochet I finished, which is the Summertime Tee by Tony Lipsy of TL Yarn Crafts. And I made mine a tunic, and at this point it's basically a dress. It's grown so much. It is crocheted in 2 pieces and then seamed. So I forgot multiple times. So it's like you do ribbing on the bottom, and then you do one hole. It's like 2 rectangles that you end up seaming together, and then add sleeves on top of it after you seam them at the shoulders. It was really cool because I'm not like a very like advanced crocheter, so it was cool to just do this. And I was again very pregnant. This is one of the last projects I did before I gave birth. And I put it on, and it like absolutely very much fit my 9-month pregnant belly, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be pretty big. But it's like very cozy. I'm very curious as how I'll feel about it in the summer. But I forgot what stitch I was supposed to be doing multiple times, and also probably used different hook sizes a couple times, and so it's kind of random. I think it's like it's like a little split hem. I can't remember what the stitch is called now, but I know at some point I switched and started doing something else, and then went back. It's just this texture is so busy that and the yarn is so like dark that you can't tell at all. Like, Tony recognized it when I met her in person, even though it's so long and I'm such a crochet beginner. And yeah, but it was a good experience. I enjoyed crocheting it. I don't know enough though about crochet, I feel like, to be very competent at creating a garment. So something low stakes like this was good. Would I crochet it again? Maybe. I might. Especially getting better at crochet and getting better at it. Maybe not making it quite as long. This was in a Lion Brand jeans, I think. Is that what it's called? Yeah, in Smokestack or something like that. It's very soft because it's just a Lion Brand yarn, very soft. But I wouldn't do it in the near future, probably. The next thing I finished is this little Rosette Succulent by Nicole Mansfield. So I have it in this like little jars, like you get a little crocheted little bottom, and this took me probably much longer than it should take a normal crocheter, but I'm very proud of it and I think it looks really cute. Would I crochet it again? Probably not, because of how involved it was. Definitely working on crochet amigurumi stuff is a fantasy self. I go through phases where I'm like, no, I'm definitely going to be able to crochet amigurumi. I'm definitely gonna be able to do it. And then every time I start, I'm like, no, I can't do it. I'm not good at it. I obviously like can keep track and do things, right? Like I was able to make this and put it together, but it just seems, again, it's like after I was finished, I had what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus the center, and then I had to, you know, connect them all together. I just don't trust myself to always follow through. So I did a little crochet turtle too at some point, but I didn't put it in Ravelry because I was just playing around. So we'll see how my crochet amigurumi journey goes, but at the very least, this is freaking cute as hell, and I am proud of it, and it's like with my real plants, so it's very fun. The next thing that I finished was my study hall shawl by Sarah Shira. This is a nice, big, drapey, soft, comfy, cozy shawl. It was the first thing that I started and finished after I gave birth during like the height of my like postpartum depression and brain fog and everything. So there's a lot of mistakes in it, but I think they're fine. I actually really love this shawl. I love its simplicity. It's a free pattern. I love little checkers and the different texture in it. I think it is a very nice project. I really enjoyed it. Would I knit it again? No. Mostly because I don't even really wear shawls that I make now, but at least not that often. But it's not because I don't like the pattern. It's just because I just don't wear the shawls all that much. If someone wanted one, I might make one for them. I love the spine detail. This is actually a single ply, and you know, I mean, it's clearly already getting fuzzy and whatnot, but it's like so soft and so drapey and so whatever. So yes, very much enjoyed this shawl, and it is a big triangular shawl. So very happy about that. The next project I finished, I don't know where it is. I couldn't find it. I'm like trying to think. I have no idea where it is. It's probably somewhere in my room. It's a Grotine by Carolyn Dick. And I just knit the pattern, which is a linen stitch, until I ran out of yarn. So I used a full skein of highly variegated yarn and it's a nice little scarf. I enjoyed knitting it more than I did the first one that I made, because linen stitch is it's like even more like annoying than just straight ribbing, in terms of like yarn forward and yarn back and yarn forward and yarn back if you're an English style knitter. And the first one I knit, I was like very like, you know, by the end. And then this one I enjoyed the process, even though the yarn, there's so many yards. I love the look of linen stitch, even if it's like annoying to knit. Would I knit it again? Yes, because I've already done it twice and I would do it again. It makes a very nice end product. And the pattern is like very good for any length of yarn. So highly recommend the pattern. Love it. The next thing that I finished was my Reignbeaux by Yelly Knits. And I very much enjoyed this. I do think that my version is a little narrow. Like I feel like it needs to be a little bit wider. The sleeves are good. I really love how they had us pick up stitches. I truly don't remember. Yes, my yarn bled. I don't know. It looks so nice. I have to like figure out what the directions were, because it made such a very nice pickup join, which I actually tried to apply to this, but it did not work as well. This was such a fun look and just such a unique pattern to have that, and then to have the colored stripes. Would I knit it again? Maybe. like doing the rainbows separately and then having to pick up stitches and knit back and forth was kind of tedious, and just like I was always worried that I was doing it wrong. And definitely my rainbow is a little bit more squat, like a little bit shorter. It's just, again, I like to either be looking at a chart or I have a pattern memorized and I can just go. So having to focus so much more on this, and it's bottom up, which is another thing. I mean, it was very cleverly done on how you're doing the sleeves and stuff like that. I do need to cinch this up. Again, it's another collar that's too big, but I mean, like, I love the outcome. I think it's a great pattern. I think a lot of people would really enjoy making it, and also it's just like unique techniques. It's always fun to just branch out every so often, but I don't know that I want to make another one. And I just feel like this yarn was so perfect. Like, why am I gonna, what else can I do that could be even better than that, you know? So that's the Reignbeaux by Yelly Knits. And now we're heading into Stephanie Lotvin corridor. The first thing that I finished was this cowl test knit. It was for a make along from Stephanie. So this is a 12-day make along. Sorry, I was just looking at I was getting a work message. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I wish that I used a different green, but I didn't have any that I felt like worked really well for the pattern. So I'm fine with that. Also, in the final version that she ended up releasing, this had like 4 wraps, and I think it wants you to do 3, and that makes it the brooms look neater, and so my brooms aren't very neat. But otherwise, I loved this. Honestly, though, my favorite were the spiders, and so I wish they were more prominent. But I mean, there's nothing on here that I don't like, other than maybe the brooms a little bit. I love cowls. I love Stephanie's cowls. I love color work. Would I knit this specific one again? Probably not. Just again, because I already have one. Like if Steve wanted one or something, maybe I would, but it was fun to do for the make along, and I'm excited to do more. Like, I'm always in the mood for Halloween patterns around Halloween. So then literally right after the day I finished that cowl, I did a test knit for Stephanie's Boneyard Sweetheart sweater. And I did that for a friend of mine because it was a smaller size, and I wanted to make sure that I could get it finished within the time frame, because it was a pretty short time frame, because like the test started in September, and she obviously wanted to release it in October. So I did my friend's size because my friend is smaller than me, and therefore would need less yarn, and it turned out so perfect, and my friend helped me pick out the colors, and it was just so good. And you're like, oh, would you knit it again? Hell yeah, I would. I made myself one right after that. It's a little big. I should have, again, like, look how big this yoke is. My color work is so big. But I was, again, worried. I don't want it to be too small, so, but I love it. It's so good. I wore this all the time. During the winter, I'll keep wearing it. And I have yarn that I'm going to make my mom one as well. So, and these sleeves, man. Highly recommend this pattern. Love it. It's such a good pattern. You can also trade out the ghosts for hearts, and I think that's also really cute. That'd be a really cute modification. And it's a DK weight sweater, so it knits up really fast. So, Boneyard Sweethearts by Stephanie Lotvin.
You have to.
Yeah, fair.
We'll talk about it.
All right, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Hi, YouTube. Should get your egg in this part out.
Yeah, for sure.
My treat.
Your treat?
My treat.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna go get the boy. Come back. Pick up.
Yes.
Will you be ready? Like by the time I get back from text you like I'm in the garage.
Yes.
So I have to get him out of the car.
Yes.
Okay. You have to watch that podcast.
It'll be good.
It's gonna be the best.
It's gonna be great. I love you.
I love you so much.
All right, the next thing I finished this year is my Turtle Dove by Espace Tricot. I knit full length sleeves on it and kind of made them a little bubble. And it is, I think, a turtleneck, but I make it short on the collar. And this was sitting on a vent. It feels it's so warm and so good. I love this pattern so much. And it has a little split hem. And it grows really nicely, honestly. Like it's just so comfy and so cozy. This yarn is Knit Picks Wonder Fluff. Would I knit this again? Yes. This is the second one that I've knit. I honestly want to knit it again in a different color. This is just probably my favorite pattern. Just so simple, so good, so cozy. Love this sweater. Love everything about it. Because it's like a bulky weight yarn, it knits up super fast. My original one had half sleeves and I knit it in 24 hours. Like, I want to say it took me, I think it was like a sweater in a weekend, right? Not sweater in a day. So yeah, I think it was like 27 hours or something for the shorter sleeve version. So this is a really fast knit up if you want to dedicatedly do it. I did say the sleeves were a little bit too long, and you know, they are, I guess, but I was wearing this yesterday and I didn't notice. Like, again, they just sort of like fold, you know, like the ribbing sits here and then the top just sort of like falls over it, but it doesn't cover my, as far as I noticed, or I don't remember it really covering my hands. So I initially thought I might need to go back and shorten the sleeves, and maybe I will in the future, but I was wearing it yesterday, no problem. So like, I didn't even notice, and I love this sweater. Love the color, love the fit, love everything about it. Ideal sweater. Then the next thing, this is actually kind of embarrassing because I haven't weaved in the ends, and I'm really not like that. I'm always weaving in the ends. The problem is that this is a sock. It's just a vanilla sock. I just did even a rolled top, slip stitch ribbing, and you know, heel flap and gusset. But I was going to, and I started on this one, folding the cuff over and like sewing it in. As I started that, so it looks like this, and then I was like, why? So I just need to like unpick this, which wouldn't be that hard, and just wear them as is. It's just a vanilla sock pattern, so would I knit it again? Yes, but not the way that I had knit it, so let's just not talk about those socks, okay? The next thing I knit was a Musselburgh hat, and I knitted for Quinn. It's my first one that I ever knit. It was way too big for him. I cannot find it. I have no idea where it is, but it was fine. I'm kind of sad. I didn't really like it that much, like the process of knitting it, especially because it goes by gauge, and I understand that's supposed to make it fit perfectly, but like, I don't know, just my gauge and the yarns, and I just want you to tell me, because then that's how I figure out. Also, I'm just, out of all the things, I'm not great at hats, so it's fine. The hat looked really cute on Quinn, and of course this hat's getting bigger, so it's gonna start fitting him anyway once I find it, but it was not my favorite. I'm going to basically have to knit it again because I have some self-striping yarn that was designed for the Musselburgh, so I'll figure it out. You guys. The next thing I knit was the Spooky Night Beanie by Erin Gates. Initially, I had picked up stitches and knit, oh, this is so satisfying. This is so dense. This fuzzy yarn, I had picked up stitches and knit to tuck on the inside so that it was like more you know, wind resistant and cozy, but I should have listened to my friend who works at the yarn store. She said it was gonna be really bulky, and I was like, nah, it'll be fine. But I did knit it, and it was too bulky. It made it really tight on my head, and I can't stand, like, it gets such a headache. But Spooky Night Beanie all by itself is so freaking cute, though. Oh my god, look how cute this is. It has a pom-pom that I just haven't sewn on yet. It's a slouchy hat on me because I have a tiny head, but it is adorable, and I loved it. This was a kit from Knit Circus, so the yarns, you could pick like orange, lime green, or purple. And I obviously picked purple, and it comes with the black pom-pom. So it's little bats and ghosts and bones. Freaking cute. Cute, cute, cute. Would I knit this again? Yes, I would. I would absolutely knit it again. I wish I had actually bought another kit for Steve, because he would probably wear it more. But yeah, loved it. The next thing I finished was this little sock arms by Telly Bean Knits for my son. And I called this like The Legend of Zelda. This is Hyrule's Hero. And then this is Golden Harvest. Wow, why is it coming in so yellow? It is much, much deeper. Oh my god. By Sun Valley. And then it has a little button band on the back, even though it's definitely big enough for his head. It doesn't need to unbutton. Arms are way too short now already. I mean, my son hit a growth spurt like right after I finished this, but he did wear it a few times, and the body was definitely big enough for him. Just the sleeves are a little short, so it's not honestly that big of a deal. But cute, cute, cute. Would I knit it again? Probably not. I didn't like the way the picking up for the sleeves and doing the shoulder and stuff was, which I think is more of a me problem than the pattern problem. Yeah, for some reason seaming stuff, or like, I don't know, picking up stitches in general is fine, but for some reason like doing shoulder stuff, I don't like it. I'm not good at it, which probably means I should practice more, but I don't want to. I mean, the sweater came out cute, don't get me wrong. The penultimate thing that I finished, which is actually the last thing I'm going to talk about, is it's all wrinkly, the Mousseux by Espace Tricot. So it's a soft little sweater. Really enjoy. It's like, am I gonna wear this today? Yeah, maybe I will. It was quick, easy. It was just stockinette, you know, just go knit, knit, knit. I do probably want to cinch up the collar at some point again. It is an I-cord. It has I-cord on the cuffs and the collar. It's very light, so it's like, yes, it's like wintry, but it's not like super, super warm. Like I can wear it at the mall when normally I am dying of heat at the mall. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I knit this in Line Brand FOMO. I think it is a worsted that you want, or I think they want you to hold the fingering with the lace, but I just had this FOMO, and it's category 4, so it works perfectly. Would I knit it again? Yeah, I think so. It's not very difficult to knit, and I might want to try it with a fingering with a mohair. I mean, I have a ton of fingering weight that I should be using, so I think I might knit it again. And the reason why I'm not talking about the last thing is because the last thing was my temperature blanket, so we good. That's everything that I knit in 2023. That is 24 projects. Thank you for being here when I restarted my podcast again in September. I'm so happy. I am so excited for 2024 and the projects that I'll be making, and having you come along with me. So thank you for spending some time with me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.